important personality, the image maker and the director of the Directorate of Information of the Customary Government of Indigenous People of Biafra, in the person of Comrade Ndubisi Vincent and Enugu. It's a pleasure having you once again.
Thank you, Chinedu Asoso.
A lot has happened, and it's been quite a long time you come to the studio to highlight some important issues about the Biafran agitation. But without taking more of your time, because we have limited time today, there is this argument among pro-Biafran agitators, some accusing others of collecting salaries, that freedom fighters are not supposed to collect salaries and the rest of them. We call them merchants and the rest, and stuff like that. And as an economist, and as a professional in economy, I want you to highlight the issue of the Biafran agitators, I mean principal officers, those who are committed to full-time agitation for Biafra. What is your stand? Because I know you had a stand on it. Sometime you made a proposal about this some time ago.
Yeah,
so I want you to highlight on that.
All right, thank you, Chinedu, for bringing the issue up in 2017.
Yeah.
Because I could remember I raised the issue 2013. When we started this struggle, we wanted to introduce civility into the restoration process. A lot of people do not understand what they want actually when they talk about Biafra and when they say freedom, give us Biafra. When some of us joined the struggle some 5 years ago, we wanted to bring in civility into the Biafran struggle. We wanted to, create a platform that will encourage professionals to take over the Biafran struggle. And by so doing, we had in mind that somebody who is asking for the welfare, economic, political, and cultural freedom for his people should be taken care of by the people he's fighting for. That was what we had in mind. So we had a template that should be able to handle that. In doing that, we had in mind that if you are working in Nigerian government offices or you are working for Nigerian government, there is no way you can serve two masters at the same time. There is no way you can stand your 2 feet on and be talking about Biafra while working in Nigerian government, talking the way I talk before the public. We have this in mind. And then we started by saying that there is no need playing hide and seek game. The first thing we had to do is to announce to the public the methodology we are adopting to pursue this our dream project. Of course, at that early stage, we told ourselves that we have to be legal, and the general public should note that our pursuit for Biafran self-determination, whether inside Nigeria or outside Nigeria, has to be done through the legal process. Then I could remember that Dr. Ikedife announced before the world that the quest for Biafran restoration, that we do not have intention to lose another life, that we have lost enough. The people that have lost 3.5 million people is no just, it's not a child's play. So in coming back to say this is what we want, we have no intention of losing more innocent souls. Perhaps by then many people did not believe us, because to them they said, you talk about freedom fighting, you must lose lives. That is, to some of them, they believe that you must sacrifice life. To some of them, they believe that somebody must die for you to be free. But in their confusion, they do not understand the kind of freedom we are talking of. They do not understand the kind of template we are putting in place. To them, what they just want to achieve instantly is to hell with Nigeria, and we will destroy the zoo, we will rubbish the zoo and get out of the country. But they don't know that it doesn't work that way. Why I'm saying this is that we have to understand that from day one, we said we are following the legal, the diplomatic, the political processes to pursue our case. And in doing that, we approached the Federal High Court over. So the people that are leading this struggle should be protected by the people, not just physical protection, perhaps going with vigilantes or police or army. No economic protection. If you are fighting for people, your family has to be taken care of. After all these things I'm doing, if I get back to my house or home this evening, and my young boy says, "Daddy, my milk, I want to drink milk," and I'll say, "I'm fighting for Biafra." How does he look, Chinedu? So this is why from the very beginning I have to emphasize and I have to continue saying it. We said those who are working for Biafra from their heart should either be considered as volunteer in volunteer basis or full-time basis be paid. And then people ask me, why should we pay you? You are fighting for your people. My dear, do you fight for your people with empty stomach? If you are a face, a leader, and you are presenting your face, just like I'm presenting my face, you do not expect Nigerian government to be happy with me. You do not expect Nigerian government to come and be giving me a contract to be fighting them. It is the people behind that will be sustaining me. I want to give you an instance, because before, when we started, I look at the Catholic Church principle, the way they operate, Catholic Church did not come with God. They came into the country, missionaries, they sent in their missionaries. The outreach from Rome, all over the world, when they are coming through people's contribution. They are not preaching the gospel while working. They spread the gospel and somebody is taking care of them from somewhere. So when we started, we told people, see, if you have a priest in the church, people take care of him. If you have a reverend in Anglican community or communion, people take care of him and his own family. In some cases, he works. But in our own case, for you to work, Nigerian government takes care of our economic power base. The state government also works for the federal government. So they take care of the economic power base. So those who believe that they are agitating for economic, for political protection or freedom of their people should be taking care of their people. But where we have issue or disagreement is the mode of taking care of them, whether it should be made open or whether it should be made secret.
Okay.
To us, we said it has to be known by the people you are fighting for. If the people you are fighting for, should agree that minimally an officer of this level should be getting 50,000 every month, it should be defined and people should know about it. Just like I want to give you an instance, in Catholic Church, there was a time, to be a Catholic, the diocese said, it's either you're on volunteer basis or you work on full-time basis. Some of them say they want to work on full-time basis. Say, if you're working on full-time basis, you get 30,000 naira a month. So something like that is made known to them and made known to people. It's not like you are working for that money. You want to volunteer your service for the church. But the church is also conscious of the fact that at the end of the month, you have your bills to take care of. So I think basically I see nothing wrong with the principal officers being paid so long as people have confidence in what they are doing.
And it is well defined.
It is of public knowledge. It has to be defined and it has to be brought to the public. The public I have in mind is the people who are part of the struggle.
And the people that are contributing that money.
Of course, people that are contributing that money should know. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I said it.
Okay, as an economist, what you said so far, looking at the Biafran agitation and also what the customary government have been doing, considering the economic situation of Nigeria today, because the Biafran people are indigenous people, but they are still in Nigeria.
Of course, we are
now, while still in Nigeria, the economic life of Nigeria, they are dependent on the economic activities of Nigeria as it is run.
That's true.
Now, how do you think that customary government can do something different, what is not obtainable or what they are not getting from the Nigerian. What do you think the customary government can do that is quite different from what Nigerian government is doing, considering the economic life of our people, the indigenous people, and how to alleviate their sufferings economically or boost their economic life?
You know, the customary government, we need to understand why customary government came up this period of time. Okay. You know, before we now talk about how customary government can take care of the indigenous people economically. Now, I want to take us back before 1914. We should understand that it is the imposition of Western civilization or Western way of life superimposed upon our own people way of life that brought about this issue of some of us coming today to say we want to go back the way our forefathers have been doing it.
Our indigenous civilization.
That's the forefathers, because we have our own way of life before the coming of white men. Perhaps look at those that are still that should be adopted from the way the white men are doing it, and then mix it up with the one we have, and have all to have a better society for our own people. So that was how the indigenous and the customary government of indigenous people of Biafra came up, trying to trace our own indigenous identity before the coming of the white man. Now, you know, because the public should be confused. If you are talking about the customary government, what would you do different from what the government of the day is doing?
Exactly.
Why duplicating or trying to set up a parallel system, yeah, you know, since these things are already in place? I don't think nobody is trying to duplicate what they are doing, but there is a gap. There is a gap that our people are trying to zero, which the Nigerian government has not taken care of. I want to start this way. You know, our customary, before the coming of white men, we have 4 market days. We have Nkwo, Eke, Oye, Afo. In these 4 market days, you have market locations. You know, like my own town, Enugu, we have Nkwo, Enugu. In Enugu, you see people coming from north there, Enugu Agede, Oka, coming to exchange their goods, produced from the farm and elsewhere, to exchange it among people who, there what you do is intermediation. Buyer, seller, sellers come in to exchange their goods. The point I'm making here is that people don't build their market close to their houses. Chide, do you know that?
Of course, that is the way.
People do not buy a build market or goods, sell goods in front of their house or their town hall, or in their residential place.
Exactly. You struck me something very important there, and I have to make, because that I hear Kanjapia or Jalapia, that somebody has gone to market, and not people living inside the market or around the market, or siting market around residential house, just like we're seeing everywhere.
Can you see the indigenous technology? These guys are aware that you have a place where you do what in Igbo you call Ebuama, where people come together to play in the evening.
As recreation.
Recreation center. They also have a place where you know, they have a place, shrine, where they go and do that. They also have their marketplaces. These things are where they find
organized system
and organized. Did our forefathers go to school?
No.
Did they do these things before the coming of white men?
They have been doing it before the coming of white men.
Now, these are the kind of technology, you know, because I said our own was truncated by imposition of modern civilization. Thereby, they jesting away all those things God created us with. Because God created us to have identity. That identity was jesting in exchange of westernization. And the first set of people that adopted it are the great Zigs that are being celebrated all over time. Because they were the first people that were sent outside Nigeria to be trained by the white men And since after that 1914, there was never a time indigenous people had ever come together to say this is the kind of political and economic system they want to put together. So, talking about the customary government is now coming in to, bring this gap together. Look, study those ones white men brought in, and then study those ones our forefathers were created with, and then see how we could use it to suit into our own current situation in our own place. Because the kind of weather condition we have here is different from the kind of system we have in Russia. It's different from the kind of system you have in UK. So what works in UK might not be the same situation that work here. So the textbook, like all some of these things we read, the theorem, McGregor's theorem, and Dan Smith Classical School of Thought, modern economies, all these things are imported, and you do not expect them to work in Nigerian or in Biafran indigenous economy. So where the customary government is coming is, if we have the leader support, Chinedu, I want to tell you that even Nigerian people will enjoy what we are doing.
They will learn.
The economy of Biafra will extend. I'm not saying it as per to threaten or the civilized economy. I can always explain how the world will benefit if our consumption, if our purchasing power is increased. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Because right now, when people sleep, go to bed and sleep without eating, some other production is being affected. When you don't have purchasing power, strong purchasing power, production is being affected somewhere. Those guys producing goods
will not sell.
In China will not sell. In international trade, it's all about comparative advantage. You produce the one that you are endowed with, and leave the other for another person to produce. So the world economy globally will appreciate when one is increasing. However, it's not the day for discussing such economic manipulation, how things will work out. I think the question you put forward is how the customary government can set a platform to take care of our indigenous people here. Like I've said, what we are trying to do is to come and sit in between a gap. A gap is already being created. There's no way, for instance, Anambra where we are, there's no way, if Obiano should tell himself the truth, there's no way he can take care of 5% of Anambra people. It's not possible. So he needs ingenuity coming from the owners of the land.
That's the indigenous people.
That's the indigenous people. So people should not feel threatened when some of us say customary government. It's not it's a de facto government. It is a platform being set to set a standard, a model, that this is the way things should be done. It's just like what the church is doing. The customary government is trying to come in to replicate what the church is taking care of the spiritual lives of the people. Then the customary government is coming to right the wrong and tell people, if you do it this way, your body and soul will be prepared for you to go to heaven. So ideally, what we are coming to do is to do those things that the non-government you have could not be able to do.
I want to point you something before you go further. The Arewa people, the indigenous people of Arewa, that's the northern people of Nigeria, today they have a de facto government called the Sharia government.
Of course they do.
And they have an economic system.
It's no longer a de facto government, it's a functional government.
It's a functional
Backed
government.
by law.
Backed by law.
De facto is when it's not backed
by law. Okay.
Not by state law.
It's not upgraded to state statute.
So yeah, when it has not been upgraded.
Okay, now.
They have upgraded.
Because this guy of Zamfara did it, Sani or something.
Yeah, Sani.
He did that when he activated Sharia government to become a state law. Now, that Sharia government had an economic system. You've heard about the Islamic banking and the rest of them giving zero interest loan to their people. Are you trying to replicate such thing with the customary government, trying to set an economic template for the indigenous people of the South who is known to be indigenous people of Biafra? These people need economic repatriation because since after the war, they have been economically deprived. The seaports are not working, no airport, the facilities, the federal government presence are not set for the people to start tapping or building a resourceful economy in the southeast. So are you targeting towards that direction? Because people are concerned. There is a lot of hunger. That's why you can see the shame that transpired during the election when people are being induced by money to cast or to exercise their franchise. So is the customary government trying to build that? Is this part of the gap they are trying to build?
Yeah, like Chinedu, you said you made reference to Sharia government. You know, whenever you say governments, you know, government goes with a system. It runs political, economic, and cultural system. So Sharia government goes with that economic system. That is why they have, of course, Islamic banking is living in Nigerian constitution, central bank, we have Jazz Bank and what have you. But that is to suit their own indigenous program, economic program. And that is why they say the interest in the Islamic banking is zero interest. You don't pay anything, but they give you at the end of their business day, the profit or loss in share 50-50. So it's to suit their own indigenous
and cultural base.
That is all I said. So when you talk about Sharia government, it goes with a system, political system in the sense that they already have who is their leader, political leader in that Sharia government.
Okay.
They have their economic base. They have their businesses. Of course, when you talk about Arewa, they have their foundation. They take care of people. They send people on stewardship, being taken care of by that government. Then you have their security network. So they already have a system running for them. So if you now take it that here, we are not, cultural government is not here to threaten anybody or to retire anybody from politics or whatever, but to complement whatever, whoever is doing in government, just like Sharia government is doing. But you know, when people are somehow threatened when they hear the word Biafra, to them Biafra war, you have started way again. I think that is what.
That's the concept. That is the image.
The missing link is there. Like when they see a young man like me talking about Biafra, they say, you have started again. But when you talk about Arewa, they won't say you have started again. Yeah. Or when you talk of Oduduwa, they won't. So actually, we want to remove that in my stigma. You know, we want to bring civility into the system so that people will begin to understand. Then, if you, after the word Biafra and customary government, there is another day discussion for self-determination. You know, they don't go together. You secure your name first. Your name is Biafra.
Your identity.
Your identity first. Customary government. Customary government, becoming of customary government is not just, give us, let's go out of Nigeria, or let's stay inside Nigeria. First is, we are Biafrans inside Nigeria. We are indigenous people of Biafra living in Nigeria. Yeah. We are still Nigerian. By citizens, there's nothing, I have not broken any law. We have not done anything wrong with that. Yeah. I think people should joke over this thing and begin to appreciate it. Let it start thinking. So that the rest of Nigeria, the Oduduwa, the Arewa, the outside, the Yoruba, will see us as their friend. Then when you now come to conference or discussion and say, bro, so this year policy, so the way you are running about Nigerian government, Kano State has 42 local government, Anambra has 21. We don't like it too. If you don't want us to remain in this system, my people are saying they want to move out. It is not me that will say it. It's my people that will say, customary government, we want you to move this motion. We want you to sponsor bill. Somebody in house, if you don't sponsor this bill, we will withdraw you from the house. Just like the Arewa youth. Arewa youth the other time they told their politicians, if you discuss about restructuring, in fact, we'll get all of you out of power. The way Nigeria is right now is the way we want it. The same Arewa youth will say, Igbos, we want you to go back October 1st. Do you understand? Because these are the holders of the political power. How do you hold the political power? Is it not by the ballot? Sorry, by the voter's card. Yeah. That's the way you hold the political power. If you understand the power of the people, then you should be able to manipulate it. If the customary government can sit back and say, my people, what do you actually want? And the people, in every fairness, say they want to remain part of Nigeria because being in a big country is good. But the country has to be restructured. We have to go back to 1963 Constitution. The people have spoken. The government will play. Just like Obiang. If the people know what they have done, they are giving him mandate to be there in the next 4 years. And that is not to say that we cannot impeach him through our representation in the House of Assembly. I hope you know that. It is not cast on stone that we have given him government in the next 4 years. Nothing will be done. We can impeach him by using our representation.
What if the people come up to say, okay, like you said, that it's the people that have to decide whether or not to be in Nigeria or out of Nigeria through the ballot called referendum?
It's a process, but it's the people that will actually do it. Who else that will do it? Is it the customary government that will say? Because see, one major mistake we are making here. I want the public to understand this. Whatever and whenever you see me talking, I talk about my people, our people. What I have in mind is that I am seated here because of the people. Okay. And if people should start to call me on phone and say, Ndubisi, stop talking about this, we don't want it. And perhaps which people are talking. If there is a way of determining the number of people that are talking, there is always a way through vote. And you have 100 people. 70 are saying that they don't want me to be seated here. 30 are saying that they want me to be here. Of course I go because the majority voice carry the day. It's as simple as that. Okay. So the point I'm making here is that if you have a platform as a customary government, the customary government is already a system, the de facto government seated here in Nigeria is not being here to begin to fight Nigeria and say we are fighting you. It's not a battle. We are not a battlefield. But we fight Nigeria on behalf of the people. And if the people right now are saying that they want to get out of Nigeria, the process will be started, just like we have gone to court. And the court is still ongoing to determine first, is there anything wrong with us saying we are Biafrans in Nigeria? Is there anything wrong with us saying we want to determine our political and economic fate, whether in Nigeria or outside Nigeria? The court will just answer yes or no, but we know the constitutional position. Do you understand? So I think in conclusion, as by your question of the platform, as per the Sharia government, whether we want to replicate the same thing that we are here, it is our intention to take care of our people politically, economically, and culturally, and otherwise. Our major concern is the indigenous people who own the land, and people are okay with the name Biafra, and that is why we go with the name.
And that is why we can't just claim that name.
It's not like we cannot just claim the name. Get it clear. If a day will come, maybe in the next 50 years,
and the people come up
60 years time, nothing is cast on stone. Okay. It's just like Nigeria. People are thinking that this name Nigeria cannot be changed. Do you know that this name Nigeria can be called Biafra? What happens? Or you've not heard of somebody saying, a time ago, article saying we are all Biafrans. What if article because the president of Nigeria said we are changing this name, Nigeria, the coming of Nigeria, or that name Nigeria was an initiative of just somebody, a woman, a Luga's girlfriend, say, call them nigger area, Nigeria, that we want to begin to do research and know the best name that we should Nigeria.
That is where the confusion will start, because the Arewa will say, why don't you call it the Arewa, the Republic of Arewa?
I'm just speculating. I'm not saying that it will come up, but what I'm saying is that not if name, the issue of name goes. It's not cast on stone. But again, it goes with identity.
Exactly.
You are Chinedu, that is your name. Do you know tomorrow now you can go to court and change your name?
Of course.
You know you can change your name.
Of course.
Go to BC. And then just within 2-3 years, people will know you as in the BC. So I want people to have an open mind. Because when you talk of Biafra, yes, it's our identity. We derive that identity from somewhere, and we're still running with it. And nobody can remove it from us until we are the same people that will say,
decide
no longer. It's not me that will come and say, Chinedu, don't answer Chinedu again, answer Ndubisi. It's not possible. Okay. It is you that will say, I'm tired of Chinedu. Teenagers support people.
anyway, you have really made a very important highlights on this point. It's very, very important. Because of time, I think we'll be wrapping it up. But before we go, I just want to, in a minute, to say a word to our people out there. People are so confused. There is a lot of disharmony. There is a lot of discordant tunes. In fact, it looks cacophonic among different pro-Biafran groups. And at this point, what they needed most is direction. So, in a minute, please, I want you to speak to the Biafran people in the way you think they will understand.
Yeah, thank you, Chinedu. To my dear Biafran people, I do not think there is any confusion any place. I think people who are confused just want to be confused, or they want to confuse themselves. I know that in the last 5 years, 2012, what I am saying today is what I started saying then, and I have consistently been saying that the only way out is for us to understand the best method or approach to deal with this issue of self-determination of Biafran people still living in Nigeria. And to us, we say the best way to deal with it, considering the economic, political, and the history of our people in Nigeria, that the best way to handle it is to use legal, political, and diplomatic methods. These are the processes that will give confidence to even our people in federal parastatals, in state parastatals, people in Abuja, people in Lagos, so long as they know that these things are done peacefully without wasting blood, they will always give their support. But if they know that certain youths are slaughtered or killed or somebody arrested and being tried, people will not support you. And if they know that for certain people saying that somebody must die before you'll be allowed to go. So people will say, I don't want to die, I beg, it's better we remain in Nigeria. Somebody told me, if you talk about killing people, I beg, let us remain in Nigeria, they don't want to die. So the point is that I do not want people to get confused. Please, my people, don't get confused. Always note that we have an administrator there. We have the Spring Council of Elders. Dr. Ike is always there for you, 24 hours. If you want to see him go to Navy, you can always call him on phone to know what we are doing. Next month, we'll be having our court case in Federal High Court. Where federal government wanted the case to be moved to Abuja, but our people said Federal High Court were in Abuja and in Owerri. They all have the same power. So why moving it to Abuja? So the case is still ongoing. You can always go there to find out the present situation of things. Of course, customary government will have a monthly town hall meeting. By next month, we'll be holding our meeting in Owerri. We invite everybody to come. And we have all our meeting going on in different communities. All what we'll do is to network among ourselves and tell ourselves the home truth. Freedom starts from mental liberation. And it is only truth that will give us what we are looking for. If we don't have love, if we don't trust ourselves, if we are not telling ourselves the truth in this struggle, why are we fighting against Nigeria? Why are we saying that the amalgamation of Nigeria is fraudulently done in 1914? If we cannot review and revisit the history and tell ourselves that in the Igbo language, you have to start from the home to mend their houses before you now go outside. Personally, I always talk about love among our people, and I always encourage our people to network, build our business base, build our economic power, encourage the best people to represent us in the political corridor. Once we do that, I think we are set to go. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. You know, when I tell our people that you're one of the best brains and one of the best things that is happening to them.
Can't be one of the best, yeah.
but I must tell you, I think the people out there can say of a truth that what you're loaded with, and I appreciate you for watching this far. This is BVI Channel 1, the platform. You can't miss anything from this media platform. Like you've always gotten it from here, we see it, we say it. And don't forget to be getting constant updates. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. And follow us on all our social media platforms. On the description below, you will see the link to our app. Download it for the Android. The iOS version will soon be out, and we'll make it public, and you can download it from anywhere. You can visit our website at www.bvichannel.com. We'll be getting constant news updates. Till I meet you next time, I want you to stay blessed, stay tuned, stay connected, and above all, stay safe. Goodbye.